Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Binding of Isaac Repentance, where today I will do a run as Apollyon. Because he is fun, he has wings, but those are irrelevant. He also has the Void, which allows you to eat up things and give you stat ups for them, which is lovely. Most of the things you can eat, I believe, are items. I'm not sure if you can actually eat consumables with them, because I'm not going to eat this, but there is an item called the Black Rune. Not an item, a consumable, and that does turn consumables into flies, and I'm not 100% sure if the Void does that as well. And there's a decent chance we are not going to find out this day either, but we're just going to do our best. It's not the most complicated character. He's got 2 health. Got decent tier rate, decent damage. It's just a very average character other than having the Void, and I do like the Void. It gives you a lot of options, I suppose, whether or not you actually want to take something. If you consume an active item with it, then your next time you use the Void, it will also activate that active item every time. So it's particularly useful with stuff like Book of Revelations and stuff like that, so you can get extra health every time you use it. And it also has some weird interactions from time to time, like using it with the glowing hourglass makes you effectively invulnerable, because where the glowing hourglass does not recharge the item after using it in combination with the Void does recharge it. And that makes it sort of amazing. I'm pretty sure it doesn't work in the shop, otherwise I'd just eat everything, I suppose, but a little tempted to try for sure. But let's see if there is anything in our library. I only have 1 key, and our secret room is over here. And now we have a choice. We have a Hagalaz rune, which could be fun. We could put this Wheel of Fortune next to the wall here. I do not think we are going to get the required coins to get that, the whatchamacallit, the black candle that is in my shop. But this gives us the ability to, from now on, use How to Jump and the Book of Belial every time that we use our active item. So I'm not really expecting that much use out of How to Jump, I suppose, in this method. Plus it can technically get me stuck as well, which, thinking about it, might not be the greatest thing, but hopefully it's gonna work out. I think I'll also just use Hagalaz over here, because I'm curious about that pill. If it's Bad Trip, I could have healed up with that red heart over there. So it seemed like a choice that didn't really have any negative consequences. I could try to just like do a couple more things to see if I can get 15 coins, because not getting curses, which is what the black candle does in my shop, is pretty wonderful, but I've lost interest, and instead am I going to fight the Haunt once more. The kind of unfortunate thing is that we don't have a charge on an item right now, so we cannot get that Book of Belial activation, unfortunately. So we're just gonna have to make do with our very default damage. If we throw a bomb in here though, that's gonna deal pretty good damage against the Haunt. And the rest of this fight is going to be played as per usual, just trying to stay in front of him to dodge his tier attacks. And if he does Brimstone while you're in front of him, doesn't really do much of anything either, so it didn't take too long. This is going to raise our damage, which is ideal actually, and that is more or less everything we can do on this floor. We could have arguably put a couple coins on our donation machine just to play it safe in case we end up dying on this floor. Another library, really? That's surprising, but I will take it. I will touch the Bible for the bookworm transformation. I will do this. And I'm a little curious if using the Void Bible against Mom works, because that would speed up the Mom's Heart and Mom's Leg fights rather significantly. Assuming we survive that far. We haven't seen any soul hearts yet. This room is more or less empty, so good enough, I suppose. But I don't know. I am once again playing this a little bit fatigued, so there is once again the possibility of instant death somewhere along the line. But so far the rooms are being rather kind. Getting that damage up does make life, I'd say, significantly easier, because it does add up in how many times you have to shoot the enemies as well. There might be a secret room above that room right there. I have 7 coins, so I think I'll just use this key here. That is soy milk, which is fun. So, how much fun do I feel like having today? I'd say a lot of fun. So, now our tier rate is pretty high. Our damage has become pretty bad, but the soy milk does have some interesting synergies from time to time now, so I'm hoping that we can get something interesting going on. But in rooms like this, I wouldn't have minded having the damage, as you might be able to understand. But it is a way to keep enemies away from you, and that is wonderful. I'm a little tempted to keep the void for the devil deal or something like that, just to see if there's something in there that might be useful to eat. And it doesn't really hurt all that much, but simultaneously, it wouldn't be too bad to just have those 2 books in my possession. One being the Bible, and there also being another book, which I definitely remember which one it was. I'm just gonna take it. I mean, flight on occasion can be pretty useful as well, and that is pretty tempting, all things considered, so I think I'll just do that. Play it simple. So let's do that. Temporarily get that damage up. It's actually pretty significant how much damage you get from the Book of Belial. Like, that was like a 0.5 damage up, and that's almost double our damage right now, so that's pretty great. We had some weird movement when I used the Void, which may not have been obvious watching it, but the how to jump is almost certainly going to mess me up somewhere along the line, and I am concerned about that, but hopefully it's not gonna be too bad. Don't love this room too much, but simultaneously, and we're getting through this just fine. Wouldn't have minded finding some health somewhere so far, but I mean, that's the way it is sometimes. We are fighting the Gurglings, which also isn't my favorite thing to fight with soy milk, but hopefully we can just keep them away from me due to their many tiers, but they do kind of fly all over the place, and there went our devil deal, unfortunately, so yeah, that was unfortunate. Couldn't really get away, kind of put myself in a corner there, so hopefully hopefully that doesn't matter too much, at least, because to be honest, I did say I wouldn't have minded to have the void for the devil deal in case there's something useful in there, so it might actually work out this way, is my excuse for accidentally taking damage there. Overall, this floor is not great. It is not the best floor I've ever seen, and there is a couple different places that are likely candidates for a devil deal, because it can be easily over here and on the south side as well. There's no reason why it will be one or the other, so I'm just gonna do it in the worst of 2 worlds, and it was indeed. Because with the other one, the other side, I would have been able to just jump into my secret room, or my item room there, my shop. Jeez, that took me a second. I would have been able to go into my shop simply by bombing through it if I had the bombs available, but occasionally you just have to assume that the game doesn't want to give you anything, and that's more or less what we're experiencing here. I mean, soy milk's fun, and maybe our super secret room has something interesting as well. I'm a little concerned about pills right now, simply because my health isn't recoverable. So I'd rather not play around with that too much, and my super secret room can be in many places, so yeah, good. It's a run so far. It's one where I actually have to pay attention, and that is not my strong suit this day, but let's see if the catacombs make it a little bit easier. Our tiers are a little bit bigger, which I guess makes it look better, so that's kind of nice. That's more or less the only thing that the item we picked up did as well. It gave us extra range, which is actually not too terrible either, because our range wasn't amazing. But I wouldn't mind getting an item like tech or something like that, just to shoot a bunch of lasers, really. Just something like brimstone, that would be a lot of fun with this, because soy milk brimstone, I do still think it's not like the best or anything, but it looks visually interesting, and that's sometimes the most important thing about a build. I might go into my shop here, actually, simply because I have a key. There is a compass in here. That is tempting, actually, because I don't mind seeing where I'm going. It does help out from time to time. Not sure where my secret room is just yet, but we haven't visited that many rooms yet. Rooms like this as well are pretty doable with soy milk, because you can just blow up the thing immediately. without really having to wait there, so that is nice. But I will probably just try to do this entire floor just so I can maybe get some health here and there. And yeah, I'm just gonna wait a little bit before doing any more shenanigans that could just ruin my health situation. Oh boy, although some of these exploding tears that they are shooting are not working exactly in my favor here. They're actually doing a pretty good job at actually shooting in my path, which is annoying. I'd rather not, but there's only so much you can do about that, I suppose. But so far it's working out. But can we find our item room? I'm tempted by the big room, because the big rooms in the cave are usually not too bad. But at the same time, the little rooms, I don't know, feel a little bit more comfortable in them. Even though the big caves rooms are usually just like 8 poops in total or something like that, which is honestly quite likely to get. Also, this doesn't lead to my item room, which also further incentivizes me to maybe go towards the big room, I guess. But again, I do it begrudgingly, and I feel that should be noted somewhere. Also, I think I'm gonna look for super special rocks because I am not finding any health. The unfortunate thing is that I look for the super special rock so very infrequently that I never really know what I have to look out for. And I suppose that is the reason why I end up never really going for them. I should probably just learn that stuff rather than avoiding it forever, because eventually it might be worthwhile. Also, this is not the exact kind of caves room that I had in mind when I was thinking of a large room in the caves, but it's not a difficult one, at least not with the range that we have. We can just shoot everything from a distance. So that worked out, I suppose. But also that little begrudgingly said, I suppose, as well. But it is important right now to not take any damage, because I do want to get that devil deal, even though it's likely that we can't really even get anything from it. Do you think our secret room is over here? Kind of a weird spot for sure, but not impossible, I would say. Yeah, there you go. There just didn't seem like there were that many alternatives there, so figured I'd try it. It worked out. This is terrifying. However, at some point we will have to die. You know, we can't just win every time. The matchstick will give us a bunch more bombs, but I don't really feel like that right now. Oh boy, yeah, this is looking like a disaster build in the making, but who knows? Maybe all the explosions aren't going to kill us today, and that would just be peachy. I will just try this for a super secret room. Maybe one more. Yeah, I wasn't loving that idea. I'm guessing it's actually near the shop there, but at least we have the money to buy a compass if we so desire. That is Gertie Jr., which is fine. Let's just shoot a whole bunch of tears and keep him away from us. Yeah, this is working. It's tiny explosions as well that are happening with these tears, which I'm loving. Because usually they don't have quite as much splash damage, and it makes me feel a little safer. Okay then. Not loving this, however. It is a choice. That could have killed me so easily, I just realized. Let's take that. Now that we are at 1 red heart, I cannot currently get a health down or a bad trip pill. That's simply how the game works. So that is wonderful. That's why I'm a little bit more tempted to just take random pills, because some of them might be health ups. Even the pills that would usually be a health down. Yeah, that's probably good, isn't it? Like the pills that are usually a health down are now a health up as well until you get that amount of health, basically. What are all these little blood splats here? I saw some of them appear, and I'm not 100% sure what actually caused those to appear there, but yeah, unusual. Wasn't paying close enough attention to it either, so hard to say. Anyway, we're going into caves 2 with no bombs and 1 heart, so feeling pretty good. There's no red hearts on this floor. So let's just make the best out of it. This is the kind of run that is sort of doomed to die, unfortunately, but that does tend to make me play a little safer. We can go in here because we're only at 1 health, so that's kind of nice, I suppose. I'm not sure what happens if I use the void on this. It starts it. Alright, well, that's good to know. That was mostly an act of curiosity, I suppose, but I do kind of feel good about having done it now. Because I wasn't sure if that was going to activate it or not. It gave us a stat up. I'm not sure which one, because activating Book of Belial also is going to give us a stat up as well, and I wasn't, again, paying very close attention. But at least that room wasn't too difficult. We got the Book of Secrets effects as well, because we also have that. Although I'm not sure if... I didn't buy the compass. Yeah, okay, yeah, very good. I bought the other one because I would like more boss items right now. In the hope that it will give me a health up somewhere down the line. Might seem short-sighted, but I don't hate the idea because I'm not expecting this run to really go into too scary places as it stands. Ooh, lordy. I don't love this build. I do not love it at all. There is way too much terror for me. That is actually surprisingly okay, because hopefully that is going to keep stuff away from me. I don't really have money right now, so it is tempting to go to my shop in case there's a secret room over here, which there almost certainly is, and there might be money in there. But so far, I'm just gonna stay on the path of keeping things away from me. Hopefully not accidentally die to something stupid. You should just give me a black heart, please. It's not quite what I asked for, in that it's not at all that. That is a red card. It briefly, like the mod still briefly shows what the things are, and I never pay attention to it in time. So it is a Joker card. That's actually tempting to keep, because that would mean we could go to the Lamb once again. We have already taken a Devil Deal, so we aren't going to get any more Angel Runes either. So that is more or less the only thing that we're likely to get from that. This could look fun, but it's probably... Ooh, that's a dangerous one, isn't it? I mean, I have to try. This is... My shenanigans are definitely the certain reason why one of these runs is going to die one of these days, but... I mean, look at it. It looks incredible. I'm causing DNA strands to kill everything, and I appreciate it. Does this give me the spectral tears that I'm having right now? It does. Wow. That actually makes it a lot better than I originally thought it would be. Because I noticed I suddenly have spectral tears, but I didn't really make that connection immediately. Fair enough. Pretty good. Oh my god. Well, I don't really need any of those effects, I suppose, so I will just leave, but... Again, wouldn't mind something to make this run a little bit safer, you know? I could technically go into my curse room right there if I used my item. Can you just pick up all those things? And then put a black heart in here. We can blow up those rocks to get a bunch more bombs, so that's kind of nice. Finally, we get some health. Ah, thank you, Dark Bum, for being who you are. That genuinely just makes the run feel so much safer already. We just tripled our health pretty much, so yeah, that's pretty good. Ah, finally I can just run around like a strange, bad decision-making person without having to worry about stuff so much. Let's see if we can get a magic mushroom out of this singular mushroom. It's technically possible, however very unlikely. That's a card. Don't exactly know which one it is. It's probably Ancient Recall, because I think it's the only one that looks like that that I currently have unlocked. And that seems like a good enough reason for it to be that card, I suppose. Yeah, so far this build surprisingly okay. It took a second to really go anywhere. The tiny explosions are making me feel a little bit less scared as well than if it was like giant explosions the entire time. And I think that's just because we have soy milk. Don't love these flies when I have a decent active item either. But, yeah, we'll get somewhere. If we get Mama Mega, I might actually take that instead of the Void, just so I can actually do the boss rush as well. Oh my god, a Tinted Rock. I haven't seen one of those in 100 years. I didn't think they still existed, if I'm being honest, but The boss even dropped one as well. It had a chest inside it with a Yara rune. Ooh, that's actually not bad. That makes it tempting to actually take the box because this does give a soul heart, I suppose. But this might give us like several hearts. Yeah. Wasn't in time to actually turn that heart into 2 hearts, unfortunately, but fair enough. There is a strength card. If only I could carry 2 cards right now, that would be really useful, because I kind of wanted to use that.
One makes you large.
I need to take 5 of these, I realized the other day, but yeah, kind of wanted to take the strength card into my devil deal here, but fair enough. That's a shovel. I'm a little curious, does this work? No, we do actually need to have picked up the item before I can activate it or grab it with Void. I'm not too bothered about having tried that because I don't really care about the shovel in anyway, so that it seems like a good enough test item, I suppose. So I will not be heartbroken when I don't get it. That is some more health, so that is lovely. Yeah, this run is starting to go places. Very good, very good. I am still curious if the Void Bible works against Mom's Foot. And if we don't get a Mama Mega, then I will be able to check that out. If we get a Mama Mega but we get it on the next floor, then that's fine as well, because then I can just use it, but we shall see what happens here today. We cannot get all the items we want every run, but it would be kind of nice. Would it? Yeah, it would be. It would be nice. It would make recording a series like this so much easier. But at the same time, I kind of like the suspense. Makes you feel alive. But so far so good. The flames are genuinely dealing a lot of damage. So combining that with soy milk is just one of those combinations that's kind of interesting. And I don't mind just picking up soy milk more often these days. It's just become a really fun item with all the different interactions that it has with stuff now. And honestly, it probably used to be pretty good as well, with a lot of these very specific synergies as well, but it's become more obvious now, I feel. Just gonna put those hearts in there. And you might have the last one, if you so desire. Don't mind having full black hearts, gonna deal as much damage to the enemies as possible. I regret taking that damage before going in here, but I guess we can still go in here even though we don't have full red hearts, so that is lovely. And this room will more or less play itself. I hope we can get some more stuff from this. So I mean, oh, yeah, sure, we just opened up the secret room there, I suppose. Wasn't even fully aware that it was there, but that worked out. Get a couple red chests with some soul hearts inside. How amazing that a run can end or change so rapidly. Mystery Sack is fine, I suppose. Only like a floor or two ago I had no health, and here we are now with more health than I possibly could have asked for. I appreciate that. Does this work, or was it just because the enemy was close to it? It probably was just that the enemy was close to it when it exploded. There is the kidney bean, which I think is an active item. It is, yeah. I mean, it's not terrible. It's technically not nothing, I suppose. That's probably the better explanation. So sure, let's just put that in the pile. Put that in the pile of active items that's in this thing. It is not a detriment, and that is honestly good enough for me. Now let's get 3 more one makes you larger pills and call it a day. Plus that also gave us a map because of the Book of Secrets. It does give 1 of 3 mapping effects, sometimes the compass, sometimes the blue map, and sometimes the regular map. So this time around we have a bit more bearing on what the floor looks like, which is fair enough, I suppose. I'm not exactly in a rush with this character right now, so it's not like I really need to go in any specific direction, but at the same time this gives us a better idea about dead ends, and that's never really a bad thing. Plus we get a money worm, and I just run into him just for fun, so you know, keeps it fresh. Might put some coins on my donation machine on the next floor, I suppose, assuming I get one, because We're at 43 and we're only going to find one more shop, but maybe the next floor shop is going to be incredible. It's always a little hard to say. And if you kill those jumpy ones while they're still on that starting platform there, then all the things that they spawn are going to also be on that platform. It makes it a little bit safer as well. Kind of a weird room, this. Don't really see a way that that thing would really cause a problem, but I'm sure I'll find one day, one way somehow, that it is going to be a problem. Also a planetarium with our 1% chance of a planetarium, so fair enough. This is pretty average in terms of what you can get out of one of these, I suppose, but not terrible by any means of the imagination. It's gonna heal up our red hearts every time we clear a floor, plus give us a more or less full map. I just sort of ran into that one there. So if we get a lot more red hearts, then this is certainly going to get a lot better as a result. So far, I'm not actively expecting it, but we do have more options, I suppose, so there is more of a chance that we can run into situations with a lot of red hearts. Plus, we've been fighting a decent amount of eternal hearts as well. So all in all, it's fine. I'm just surprised to even see a planetarium with the odds that we currently have, and honestly I should be grateful for that, because this is the most unlikely planetarium, I suppose. So it's nice to just see one in the wild. Plus, if we want to touch all the planetarium items, we will need to touch all of them. So, good start on that. There is the Fallen, who is just going to get a lot of tiny explosions and then disappear. Don't really need to use my thing. And we get a full health. We can pick between Dead Cat or Guppy's Tail. Both are pretty good. I think I will take Guppy's, or the Dead Cat, but let's see what's in our Devil Deal first. Because this... okay, that wasn't the order I should have done that in. If I take this now, we only have black hearts, but if I didn't do this, we are back at one red heart as well. Yeah, I'll just do it like that, I suppose. Little tempted to use my Void from the get-go just to get some mapping. However, it appears that with Soul you also immediately see where your boss room is. So, it's a choice, but simultaneously fighting Envy like this is not the worst experience in the world. It does speed up the process, and there's a lot of rooms that Soul doesn't show, like the item room and the shop and all the other good things. So it is worthwhile to use the Book of Shadows effect from time to time, because I'm not using Void as much as I feel like I should. But at the same time, the effects that are currently available in our Void is, I think they're not bad by any means, but they're not always usable, I suppose. Luck Up is probably good with what we have. I don't know if it's going to change the amount of explosions that are coming out of our tiers right now, but I don't mind it. There is a shell game for us to play with. I kind of want to go into my secret room first, if I could. How does this keep happening? Every time I end up playing the shell game and I always blow up with something. It's never on purpose either. It always happens by accident. PhD. I mean, I can't really say no to that, I suppose. 48-hour energy, sure. Let's just use that in a random location where it doesn't affect us. I'm surprised how untempted I've been feeling about curse rooms this run. I suppose that's more the unlikely scenario that's playing out here. Because usually I just run into all of them. They do have a tendency to have a decent chance of being okay. So that's why I usually go for them. Also, just the room layout was reason enough for me to bomb the ceiling there, and it worked out. It worked out, I would say. Shooting diagonally with this item is my favorite thing, though. I'm at 82 coins. If we can get money equals power right now, it's almost tempting not to put anything under the donation machine. There we go. That resolved itself. Teratoma. Yeah, just having a very average build. with just a whole bunch of tears that are exploding all over the place. But overall, honestly dealing pretty decent damage as well. I do not regret any of the item choices I've made so far, except maybe what I've put in the void. But even that, there wasn't really even that much choice to be had. There's the alabaster box. And tarot cloth, I guess I can take that. There's not that many hearts on the floor right now, and I could spawn 3 soul hearts and 2 angel room items. 2, really? Huh. Anyway, I might do... I'll have to walk all the way back to get those batteries, though. That's kind of annoying, but... not impossible, I suppose, so let's just do that. And also, that didn't actually fill it with soul heart. I still just picked it up. So I'm not exactly sure if this is going to do anything, but I suppose we'll find out when we find out. Let's just put all of these coins in there until it breaks. I have no idea what our coin count on that is right now, but probably fine. But I am still curious if I can do the thing. If I can use the Bible that is in my void to fight Mom's foot. And almost certainly if that works, it will probably work against Mom's heart as well, and thus speeding up the process a little bit. But I do regret not placing these batteries slightly closer to where I was when our movement speed is average. Slightly above average, I suppose. Average would be 1, but still not exactly mind-blowing, I suppose, either. I'm surprised I haven't walked into these spikes yet, because I'm not really paying very good attention to the spikes right now, and it's working out, but still. But yeah, this run just kind of plays itself. I mean, it was a difficult start. Like, there was a lot of no health for a while, and then somewhere along the line again, I was like, you know what? Have some fun. I appreciate that. Yeah, we're still getting health, so either we are just going to get an angel room item from that alabaster box that we put in our void, or the more likely thing, it won't. It won't do anything. But I mean, we'll find out at Mom's foot, I suppose, which is right now. Yep, that still works. All right, pretty great. And we do get the angel room item as well. Wow, that's actually pretty amazing. That's a pretty good deal. That saves so much trouble. Oh my god. Like, you have to put... how, is it like 6 soul hearts or something into the box usually? So, being able to just put it in the void and using it, like, that's amazing. I'm gonna use that. The how to jump is not the best. I suppose, all things considered, maybe I wouldn't have put how to jump into the machine if I could go back, but it was kind of hard not to. So Ace of Clubs, it used to only, I think, converts consumables. However, also works for enemies now. Same for the other Ace items. It's pretty great. I actually really like the way that works because it makes the cards usable. Because in most instances, it just wasn't worthwhile to even bother, and now it's a card that's just very strong. Now, as long as I don't take damage, our build is going to be amazing. Because those little gems that we're shooting are dependent on whether or not we've taken damage, I believe. So, it would be nice if we can just keep that up. And I think I'm just going to rush to the boss. Our health is perfect, pretty much, so no real reason not to. Might as well just try and clear this run as quickly as I can. We have the negative, so we have all the things required to go to the lamb right now, which is lovely. Could have just used the void thinking about it. And we could get more tears up, but rather have not as average of a speed situation. I'm not sure if I need at least 1 red heart for this crown to work, and that is pretty important to our damage right now. So I will simply take the ghost baby and leave in the hope that at some point we might get the conjoined transformation. Not exactly the highest chance in the world, but also not impossible either. Also, I guess I'll check here for a tinted rock. Mostly I just want my health to be full. Also, I kind of want to check out my secret room as well. And maybe my super secret room as well, because technically, theoretically, there are some super secret rooms with angel statues. And while I'm already pretty far into the run, I also know exactly where my super secret room is, so there's no real downside to at least check it, other than that it takes a minute of time, I suppose, but I'm having a good enough time traversing these floors with this build, so overall I'm not too bothered to spend a little bit longer on it. Might as well enjoy the soy milk that we have. Shot speed up. Also, I guess I should be looking for one makes you larger pills, knowing that they are in my pill pool, but ever since picking up the PhD, I haven't seen it. That makes me a little sad. It's probably still in the pill pool, but I just want to see more of them. But at the same time, I don't fully feel like going through the floor. Plus, if I'd ever want to get 5 of those one makes you larger pills in a row and make it a little easier on myself, I think I would rather just... another one of these. I would rather just use the pill placebo to get the effect a couple times instead, because it does make this a lot more reliable. And yeah, I'm just gonna play this shell game until it inevitably explodes again, I think. Which should be anytime soon, or until we get the unlock for... Yep, there we go. Or until we get the unlock for playing that thing. I think it actually has to be like 100 times as well. That was unfortunate damage, but sadly unavoidable entirely. We don't have wings, but we do have flight because I'm going over these rocks. So yeah, we just have an interesting visual effect. Plus the Book of Secrets gave us a map, so that does make life a little bit easier once again. Let's just get this secret room over and done with. It's not even there. Genuinely surprised by that, actually. I was feeling pretty confident about that one. But that's the way Isaac keeps you grounded. By putting it on the other side of the room. Is there a bad secret room item? Probably not, right? Wavy cap? I mean, okay. Technically not a bad secret room item. It's just not a particularly good one. Especially compared to the alternatives. But, you know, I will once again make do. I'm just having a very average Apollyon build. And that makes me very happy. Also, the unlocks you get as Apollyon are largely... what do you call it? They're largely trinkets, and I believe that the trinkets that spawn some flies from time to time, and that's why I do like playing as Apollyon as well, because those trinkets are pretty good. They usually only spawn one fly of a specific kind, and they just tend to add up to make every run a little bit easier where you actually get them from, usually at least, so it's nice to just get those unlocks out of the way. There we go. I think that was our mystery sack that gave us a soul heart there, so that is lovely. There is another shot speed up because I was running a little low, as that is the only stat up pill that I've seen so far. And let us once again destroy Mom's heart by pressing the void button. No devil deal, but we have that Joker card still. No idea where my super secret room is. And truth be told, I don't really feel like looking. So I might just use that Joker card and leave. Oh, there is still one makes you larger. That makes us Stompy, but we need 2 more for the achievement. Also, genuinely forgot that Stompy makes you destroy rocks, because I'm not sure if it always did. But yeah, I could have just very easily taken some damage there by accident. But I suppose I'm not really sure what I'm looking for right now. I mean, there's some spikes on that chest which I could open, but that's about it. There's the tiny hope that I might get some one makes you larger pills, I suppose, but I mean, the beggar might give us a couple as well. I'm done looking for my super secret room, I think. We are just going to continue on. I'm quite large. It didn't really hit me until I entered this dark room where the character does become rather visible. A fetus in a jar has appeared, and the Demo Man challenge for beating Mom's heart 9 times. We got the smelter for beating Mom's heart with Apollyon. Smelter's pretty okay as well. It's an item in the shop that you can use to eat trinkets, and then you'll just have the effect. It's an active item, and it does have its uses for sure. Let's just use that. Happy that I put that pheromone bean in my void, because it made one of them not walk towards me there, so that was nice. There is a dice room on this floor. And quite frankly, the layout confuses me a bit, but I think I have to go down. It's a little hard to tell right now, but... Also, I think if I use the void on Satan now, I die. Because I think... I might be misremembering, but I think if I use the Bible against Satan, I die. And that's not exactly a thing I'm going to just try. So, yeah, I think I'll just not do that. Tempted by the, oh yeah, right, Stompy. Wow, this is not the right direction, is it? Wow. Genuinely surprised. But it does mean that I should be using my, void here and there a bit more, I would say. In the hope that it gives me a little bit more mapping, a little bit more damage during the fights as well. I guess we have to go up. Ah, that's annoying. Maybe there's a secret room here? No. There's many places for a secret room, but if we just use up a couple of our void charges, then it should probably tell us somewhere along the line. There is a soul heart in that blue fire, and that's why I was blowing them up. But let's just use this here. Get that flight for this room. I mean, it's still not... the Bible is still pretty good, even when it doesn't insta-kill a boss. But... It does... A 6-charge Bible is not the most exciting thing either. It's, not my favorite. Where is the secret room? It's all the way back there. Maybe. Let me think about it. Let's just go a little bit further towards our super secret room first. And then make a choice on that later. I can also use my Bible to open that gold chest, for instance, and that's not a terrible idea. I could take emergency contact because I don't really have a reason not to. There's a hangman card, which is effectively the same as having the Bible in that room, so not bad. And a soul heart. There's just a lot of good things in that super secret room. Yeah, alright. Unlikely, I guess, that we're going to get another active item, but... I mean, we could. Let's just fight this boss real quick. No real reason to put that off right now. Plus, this shouldn't take too long. I might go into my secret room after this fight as well. Kind of forgot to dodge there, but it'll probably work out. I just sort of stand over here. That was an attack I genuinely forgot about. Oh my goodness. He just went to the left. I don't think I've ever seen that before. I guess because I always fight Satan the exact same way, and I decided to deviate from that idea once by not just standing in front of him. And there you go. It immediately didn't work out in my favor, and that's why I always do the same thing over and over. And that's how I learn. But let's see what's in our secret room. The rest of this floor isn't that big from the look of things. I tried to stomp... Oh, is that conjoined? Ooh. Randomly getting a dry baby out of a skull. Not impossible, just very unlikely. The dry baby isn't even bad. It blocks tears pretty good. Justice card, which has double the effectiveness because of the tarot cloth. So that is lovely. And I suppose there was a coin beggar somewhere, so I could just give him some coins as well. Just don't think I can be bothered. There is the placebo. Okay, that's interesting. I'm going to eat this because I would like to have that in my collection. And if we get a one makes you larger pill now, then I can just get that achievement over with. So now I'm actually a little bit more incentivized to explore this entire floor. I'm doing it because I must. Is there mushrooms in this for now? Almost at 99 coins once again. I guess technically this beggar could give me a pill. And I guess technically it could be a one makes you larger. I guess. It's just somewhat unlikely. I mean, I'm also breaking skulls, and I know I'm not gonna get one from that, so really I'm just doing whatever at this point, I suppose. Let's just not screw that up. It's a little tricky to tell when your sprite is quite this large, but we do get to enjoy the conjoined look as much as possible this way. I guess I'll take that for the dark room as well. Whoop. It's a little tricky to do that diagonal movement. However, not impossible if you can press a couple buttons at the same time. Ah, this is lovely. Being able to shoot mimics with conjoined as well, that's just ideal. I should take that black heart. Because it means you don't have to stand in front of them and you don't have to worry about a thing. Just lovely. But if I'm not going to get a pill here, then I'm a little bit concerned that I'm not going to get it anywhere. But I do hope I am wrong in that case. I mean, it is technically possible to get pills on the dark room, but it just feels a little unlikely with gray chests and other such things always giving you items. But we shall see. Let's go. Oh, balls of steel. That's probably better than emergency contact. I mean, I did underestimate emergency contact the other day as well. It worked better against the lamb than I expected, for sure. There is the Locust of Pestilence, which is a pretty good trinket. I am very large. Let's see what kind of great things we can get here. We can get a second part of the Guppy transformation. We can get a little bit more damage. Monster manual, not terrible either. I'm not sure how Mom's knife works with soy milk, so I'd rather not try. Oh, right, I have the pill placebo with balls of steel right now as well, so that's also kind of good, I guess. Also, the void is not affected by the fact that the cooldown increases when you use a particularly strong pill. It's just always 6. So that's pretty good. Also, I guess I might as well just take that, just one of those items at least. That's the experimental pill. Will not decrease with PhD is exactly the words that I like to look for in these instances. But it does mean I might actually just take one of the Devil Deal items, probably the damaging one, in case this gives me a health up or something like that. Which I wouldn't be surprised if it's possible, but I'm not 100% certain if it is. We will possibly learn today. Because you can't get HP up from experimental pills. It's pretty random what you can and what you are going to get. You need to look out for horses. A chest for me with apple. That's gonna occasionally shoot. I mean, it's pretty much impossible to tell because of the diamonds that we're shooting all over the place, but occasionally we shoot a tier that deals a whole bunch more damage, so that's kind of nice. Let's just do that. Speed up. We have a full map now as well. I'm a little bit more tempted by the balls of steel pill, I guess, because I'm taking a little bit of damage right now. I suppose one heart I sacrificed, but balls of steel is just a very reliable way to not be dead. Even though the stat ups from this are probably not going to be bad either. It's not exactly the pill I'm looking for right now. Really, I just want the one makes you larger, so I can use the pill placebo once and then just eat the pill, and I think I'm done at that point with that achievement, which would be lovely. There is super greed. That is, I guess, possible. I was hoping for one with mushrooms. We could eat this just for the startups as well, so why not? Not sure what we got there. Also, there's a tinted rock in there with an item as well. Pretty good. I am feeling pretty confident that this run will make it to the lamb. Ooh, this boss showed up. Usually you don't see him around too much. Mostly with that boss you need to be aware that he shoots where, or he aims where you were as he started teleporting. So if you're moving around with that in mind, usually the movement's not too bad. But it can be kind of confusing at times if you're not aware of that. I mean, this is gonna just, yeah, that's gonna make it look horrendous. I mean, I can't say no to this. This just looks too neat. That just destroys as well. Look at that. Look at how big my glasses are. It's amazing. I think I will leave that alone this time though. Once again, I will not do the victory lap, I do believe. I will save that for probably much later actually. Because it takes such a long time to do the whole victory lap thing, and it is actually pretty tricky as well. I'm not really trusting this build too much with it. I would like a little bit more defense. Plus, I'd like to actually be 100% guaranteed that I can even go to the lamb every time to do that. Which I currently am not, so I'd rather not do that. That's a bunch of hearts. Let's see if we can find that one makes you larger pill that surely exists somewhere on this floor. And if not, then at least I had a good time. I hope everyone else did as well, because this run has been a joy. It just kind of went all over the place. Started off a little bit difficult. That's not what I want. That's the opposite of what I want. Yeah, a little difficult start, but once it got going pretty great. And I do like the place where it ended. I'm a little curious how this combines with Mom's knife as well. There's a pretty decent chance that Tech 10 is just going to overwrite it, but still a little curious, and I might as well try if I'm going to end this run anyway. No real downside to that, but there is a very real possibility that we're not seeing the real effects of it, I suppose. But I have to say that I am not disappointed by this. Conjoined Tech 10 soy milk. It's just lovely, isn't it? It's just one of those lovely days. Not even sure who was there, but it was a boss, and it had to be removed from the game. Alright, well, that was that. Unfortunately, we didn't get the pill I wanted. But I'm still not too disappointed. We got another mom kill. So, pretty great. Let's just do that. I'm huge. That's pretty fun. Let's just take this. Yeah, that just turns it into a knife that I can't even shoot. It turned it into a knife that I cannot remove from my body. Oh, that's horrendous. That's actually really bad. Yeah, we could have made this build terrible if we so desired. I'm not sure if that's because of Tech 10, and it probably is. Let's just use this for good measure as well. For a robo baby. But yeah, this is not a build that I would enjoy playing with. So for some reason the secret room is opening as well, which I'm confused by, but sure, I guess. And let's just call that a day. Pretty good. We got the Locust of Death for beating the Lamb with Apollyon. We got a couple things done there, which is lovely. We are currently at 9 mom kills, and we are almost at the point where we can reliably go to the Lamb every run rather than having to rely on devil deals or the like. However, so far I will say that to call this streak lucky with how many times we've been able to go to the Lamb or even further is, yeah, it's an understatement. But so far, I'm having a good time, and I hope you all are as well. Next time we play, I'm gonna do a run with someone or another. Haven't decided yet. Maybe a challenge. I don't know. We'll see it next time, and I hope to see you all there. Bye-bye.